When I was alone with Miss Lewinsky on certain occasions in early 1996 and once in early 1997, I engaged in conduct that was wrong. These encounters did not consist of sexual intercourse. They did not constitute sexual relations as I understood that term to be defined at my January 17, 1998 deposition.
Can you tell the grand jury what is tricky about the question, did anyone other than your attorneys ever tell you?
No, there's nothing. I'm just telling, I have explained, I will now explain for the third time, sir. I was being asked a number of questions here. I was struggling to remember them. There were lots of things that had gone on during this time period that had nothing to do with Monica Lewinsky. You know, I believed then, I believe now, that Monica Lewinsky could have sworn out an honest affidavit. It now appears to me they didn't because they were afraid I would give them a truthful answer, and that there had been some communication between you and Ms. Tripp and them, and they were trying to set me up and trick me. And now you seem to be complaining that they didn't do a good enough job. I did my best, sir, at this time. I did not know what I now know about this. A lot of other things were going on in my life. Did I want this to come out? No. Was I embarrassed about it? Yes. Did I ask her to lie about it? No. Did I believe there could be a truthful affidavit? Absolutely. Now, that's all I know to say about this. I will continue to answer your questions as best I can.
If she says that you kissed her breast, would she be lying?
I'm going to revert to my former statement.
Okay. If Monica Lewinsky says that while you were in the Oval Office area you touched her genitalia, would she be lying? And that calls for a yes, no, or reverting to your former statement.
I will revert to my statement on that.
If Monica Lewinsky says that you used a cigar as a sexual aid with her in the Oval Office area, would she be lying? Yes, no, or won't answer?
I will revert to my former statement.
If Monica Lewinsky says that you had phone sex with her, would she be lying?
Well, that is, at least in general terms, I think is covered by my statement. I addressed that in my statement, and that I don't believe is...
Mr. President, let's move ahead to the episode on November 29, 1993, in which Mrs. Willie met you in your office at the Oval. The subject matter of the 60 Minutes broadcast a few months ago. You recall that episode?
I certainly do.
Mr. President, in fact, on that date, you did make sexual advances on Kathleen Willie. Is that not correct?
That's false.
You did grab her breast, as she said.
I did not.
You did place your hand on her groin area, as she said.
No, I didn't.
And you placed her hand on your genitals, did you not?
Mr. Bennett, I didn't do any of that. And the questions you're asking, I think, betray the bias of this operation that has troubled me for a long time. You know what evidence was released after the 60 Minutes broadcast that I think pretty well shattered Kathleen Willie's credibility.
On that is, were you sending some kind of a signal to her by wearing
No, sir.
one of the ties? Let me finish if you don't mind.
Sure, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Were you sending some kind of a signal to her by wearing a tie she had given you on the day that she appeared in front of the grand jury?
No, sir. I don't believe she gave me this tie. And if I was sending a signal, I'm about to send a terrible signal, and maybe you ought to invite her to talk again. I don't want to make light about this. I don't believe she gave me this tie. I don't remember her giving me this tie.